Good morning. I'm here at the southern terminus of Kungsleden. The trail goes up that way. Nice, easy gravel path to start with. And I've got a really beautiful sunrise coming up. There's a visitor center behind me. And yeah, not much else to say except time to go. I'm really excited to be here. And seeing how light it is already, even before sunrise, I mean, it was starting to get light at like 2 a.m. So I think that bodes well for future mornings. I just went through a ski area. You can kind of see Hemavan and the runway where I landed way down there. But now looking ahead, there are no ski resorts, and my heart just started pounding, not out of nerves, but excitement, just like, whoa, I'm heading into the wilderness is what it feels like. And at least from this vantage point, it just looks like untouched nature. Aside from, the spray painted cairns marking the trail, but oh, this is so cool. I'm really glad I started today. I'm a very rainy day tomorrow, according to the forecast, but you can see I only climbed a little bit to get to this to get above tree line, and it's already really exposed. And tomorrow I think is going to be much more forest, so this feels like a good choice. But being out here, it's like I know why I love this. It just feels very adventurous. I believe I'm going to be running through this valley. So far the day has been a total treat. The trail has been pretty easygoing so far. Definitely runnable for the most part. And I am getting spoiled by all this beauty. I think I'm around 6 miles in. So far, so good. I just passed my first hut, and a few tents. There were some tents up here too, but so far, everyone is still asleep. And just crossed a hill to get this view. Amazing. Just completely magnificent. Here's my second mountain hut of the day coming up. This valley behind me was like a wind tunnel. I was going straight into a headwind, like a violent headwind for a long time, but it was fine. I've been jogging most of the time. The trail is getting a little more rough. It's just like mud and rocks and roots, but yeah, so far so good. You can see some hikers coming up. You can see these poles with X's along the way. Some of you that are into winter sports may know that those are there to mark the ski trail. So Kungsleden is also a ski trail in the winter, and most of it, or a good portion of it, shares the hiking trail of Kungsleden, and the hiking trail is marked by orange paint on rocks. So there are some parts where the trail splits up, and it's really important that I follow the hiking trail and not the ski trail, because the ski trail, of course, there's snow in the winter and it might go over some rivers, lakes, streams that are impassable by foot, but fine when you're on skis. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye out. I downloaded maps for every stage so that I can see them offline. That way I can check anytime, as long as my phone has battery, and whether I'm on track or not. So I think it helps the most when I'm in towns or going through ski areas, because it's not always clear where the trail is, because there's lots of other ski trails crisscrossing or roads that it might not always be obvious. So I came as prepared as possible. And here's a neat view of the hut behind me, and that's where I came from. There's like no wind in this section, so it's nice and calm, and that's where I'm going. You can see off in the distance here, there are some reindeer. They're protected by the Sami people, and this is like a reservation for the deer. Yeah, and they say don't disturb the deer. If there are any in the path, you just have to wait for them to get out of the way. These little wispy guys, they look like little cotton puffs. And then, just a casual view. Oh, hi, Mr. Reindeer. I'm not disturbing you. Oh, oh. Oh. Oh, baby. Go catch up. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, it's so cool. If you know me, you know I love bog boards. The best. All right, little update. I'm 19.5 miles in for the day. All is going well. I'm feeling good, with the only exception to a concern I have about my left knee. It feels 100% completely fine right now, but when I go downhill and have to step down and load weight onto my left leg, I get a sharp pain in my left knee. This happened in the Whites a few weeks ago, and it happened when I was coming down Beaverbrook Falls, or Beaverbrook, yeah, I think that's what it's called, on the AT. And basically, in order to not hurt my leg, I had to lower myself down with my right leg only, which made going downhill very slow going. And I immediately felt better the next day, but it still, it really hurt in the moment. And then I went back to the Whites the next weekend and it didn't happen. And so far today, everything's been great. My feet are starting to get a little sore, which is to be expected. But then as I was going, down some steps toward one of the huts, that sharp knee pain came back. So it's definitely a little troublesome because, this is the first day. It's the best I'm going to feel. And so, I'm not going to stress out about it, but just being honest with myself that this may become an issue. And, you know, thankfully the Swedish mountains are, you know, they're not gnarly like the White Mountains. They're, you know, I could have bad weather, I could be exposed. It definitely, from what I know about this trail, you know, it will have its own challenges. But as far as really steep terrain goes, I only know of one nasty part that's toward the beginning of the last stage. So anyway, I said I'm not going to dwell on it, but you know, it's clearly on my mind because I'm talking about it. I just hope it'll be okay. And then as far as pace, I'm going about 15-minute, 23-second miles. That's what my watch says. And that's right on track. I'm not planning to go this fast through the whole hike, but today I need to get to the grocery store in Ammarnäs till before I need to get to the grocery store before 6 o'clock because I need to resupply for tomorrow. And then also I called the shop yesterday to see if they have an ATM, and they don't. I really should have gotten some cash out at the airport in Stockholm when I got a chance because Hemavan does not have an ATM. You know, of course, these little mountain towns don't have ATMs, but there are some boat crossings where I'll need to pay cash. And so I called the grocery store yesterday. A very nice man, Patrick, answered, and he said there's not an ATM, but asked if I had PayPal. I said, yeah. And he said, well, tell you what, come into the store and like you just PayPal me and I'll give you cash from the till. And that sounds great to me. It's very kind of him to help me out that way. And then he asked where I was. I said Hemavan, and he said, okay, when are you going to get here? And I said, tomorrow. And he was like, what? You're hiking all the way from Hemavan you're hiking all the way from Hemavan in one day? And I said, well, that's the plan. And he said, well, I'm super impressed. And I was like, wow, I haven't done it yet, but I'll do my best. So pressure's on. So I need to go about 4 miles an hour to get there on time. So I'm doing all right, but I've been very focused because I was like, I got to get to that grocery store. So that's the goal of the day. And then of course it'll be super nice to get there really early because then I can get to bed early and have an early start tomorrow. So just, you know, I'm just hoping that the rest of the stay goes smoothly. And so far it has been. It's been beautiful. The sun's out. I've seen a lot of other hikers. So to be continued. Hey, just checking in. All is well. I'm about to get up into another sort of like alpine zone. And my thoughts so far is that these mountains so far are super chill. I'm still working hard out here, so don't get me wrong. And I'm gonna have my work cut out for me to get to the grocery store on time. But it almost seems a little unfair because to get above tree line here, it's just sort of like a nice amble uphill where, you know, and I'm comparing it to the Whites because that's just the closest mountain range to me. I think it's the one I go to the most often. Ooh, check that out. And yeah, to get above tree line in the Whites, it's like a straight up climb, and you've got rocks and hazards. where so far here it's just been very chill, so I'll take it. I've just been running as much as I can. I am still on time, I think, but I don't want to be overly confident, so we're just gonna keep moving along. But this is awesome. It's, as you can see, quite runnable. Some parts are pretty rocky, but this part is very nice, so I'm gonna take advantage. Okay, that is a very prominent looking peak, so I'm going to assume that's Vindelfjellet, which I do not go over that. This route largely doesn't actually go over the top of mountains, it just goes over mountain passes. And if that is Vindelfjellet, that means I'm gonna be going to, I'm gonna circle around the left of it. And there's a lake somewhere by there too. So I believe that's where I'm going. And then on the other side, I believe, is when I start my descent to Ammarnäs. And I have about 18 miles to go. I'm gonna be cutting it close, but I think I can do it. This reindeer, he's just prancing around. I don't know if he's interested in me or not. I think he's kind of keeping an eye on me. Oh, there's his friend. I'm not coming after you. I'm just minding my business. It made me wonder if there's a baby nearby, like the one I saw this morning. Yeah, these reindeer, they're on watch. I was not wrong. There's the baby. And the mama, I don't know if you can see her. Yeah, there she is. I'm not coming for you. And the family's reunited. I am happy to see that, and I am glad I did not get attacked by a reindeer. Okay, that's the mountain we were looking at earlier. Now I'm on way across the other side, and I'm heading up. This is the next pass, and you can see there's a little cabin right up top. I think that's at mile 38 for the day. I'm at a little over 36 now. Sorry if it's hard to hear me in the wind, but just checking in. Knee still feels a little wonky, but it's not hurting. It's just speaking a little bit, so definitely like, please knee, be okay. Sorry, it's probably really loud. Maybe I can caption this if it's really obnoxious. But just now, so I've been seeing hikers all day, and this one woman, you know, she was going the opposite direction of me, and I said, hey, which is the Swedish hi, and then she didn't say anything. I said, hello, and then she just was looking at my backpack like, what? And she didn't say anything. She didn't say hi. She didn't smile. I think she was just, and I was running at the time. So maybe she's just like not sure what to make of me. Maybe she is wondering if I'm actually a backpacker because my pack is so small. I don't know. But she could have at least said hi. Oh well. I made it to the hut. It's a pretty tough climb up here and straight into the wind. I'm not going to stop at the hut because I need to go to the grocery store. But everything's going well. Alright, I think that might have been my highest point of the day. I'm not completely sure. I don't have, an app to tell me exactly where I am, but there might be a few more little bumps ahead. But I'm definitely at or near the top of something. And you can see it's a lot more rocky. It definitely feels kind of Mount Washington up here. Yeah, once I get through this junky, rocky stuff, assuming it's temporary, but never assume, then I'll hustle down to Ammarnäs and get to the store. It turns out I did have one more hill, and then I saw this in front of me. It's probably hard to tell, but it's like another kind of steep hill. But I forget if I just said this, but I may have cursed when I saw that hill. And then I just saw this little curve and little divot in the mountain and the trail, which seems to be going that way, and just said, hallelujah. And also, I just went through a very rocky section. It was a little rough, so I'm very happy to have dirt under my feet again. So I'm kind of in the last stretch of the day. According to Apple Maps, I know that seems really silly that I'm using Apple Maps. I have an elevation chart, I have a GPS map, but I can't just toggle the place and see how far it is. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get quote unquote directions from Apple Maps, which actually seems to recognize Kungsleden. Google Maps did not seem to recognize Kungsleden. So take it with a grain of salt, but Apple Maps says it's 7.8 miles to the store. I have a little bit of a sandwich left, and I have some candy and chips and stuff too, but yeah, right now I'm gonna eat my sandwich and drink some water, and then hustle on down to Ammarnäs. Just came from there, and look at this nice gentle downhill toward Ammarnäs. And there's one last mountain hut for town, and that is about 5 miles out of town, I believe. So last I checked, I was 6.6 miles out. I've got about 2 hours till closing, so again, cutting it close. But I'm moving as fast as I think I can while not breaking myself. So yeah, still on target. I see it. Ammarnäs. Working hard over here. I've been moving well and just kind of grunting my way through it. I'm definitely dehydrated. I'm out of water. I have 4 miles left. If I see a water source, I'll definitely collect some, but otherwise we're just pushing through to town. And yeah, I didn't mean to make this whole video about me getting into town on time, but it's the big objective of the day. But overall, this has been an amazing day. This hike is incredible, and a lot of people don't even hike this section of Kungsleden because up north it's so spectacular, and they do all the best parts, and I'm having trouble imagining something better than this. It's so beautiful. A road. I am spent. I was able to find some water. My filter's a little stopped up, so it's a real effort to just get water out. So that's a little sad because I just want to guzzle water right now, and I can't. But yeah, I just saw a sign. It said 1 kilometer from Ammarnäs, and I just double checked my map and the grocery store. So I'll get to a T at the end of this main road. To the right is the grocery store, then to the left is where Kungsleden continues. So I'll go to the grocery store first, then I'll get back on Kungsleden, then I'll get to the place I'm staying tonight, which is one of the mountain stations run by STF. It's like the Swedish Tourist Association. They're in charge of all the mountain huts. They make all of this happen, which is great. And the place I'm staying in, it's an old house. It's a Sami house. Sami are the native people, and they still, I believe, like they still live in this region today. And this house used to be where like the elders lived, but it's been turned into this mountain station. So it should be a cool place. I'm excited to check it out and get to stay there. This is so dumb, but when I get really tired, I have to make noise. It's psychological, but it makes me feel better. So every so often, this is embarrassing, but I'm just sharing this because it helps me. So yeah, anyway, every so often I just have to let out like a, ugh, and it just works. Ugh. That's all. It is 5:37. I'm happy to say I made it well before 6. About 23 minutes, 22 minutes by the time I walk in. I'm very proud of myself.